Ladies and gentlemen, what Blackrock just said will send shivers down your spine. And if you don't know who Blackrock is, well, Blackrock is just the biggest hedge fund in the world. They have assets under management of $10 trillion. And you know when the Federal Reserve did all their money printing in 2020 and 2021 and started buying bonds and corporate bonds? Do you know who facilitated those transactions from the largest central bank in the world? That's right, BlackRock was the one that facilitated that. We are seeing BlackRock become more interconnected with the US government, with the US banking system, and they have a complete monopoly. But guess what? They have much bigger ambitions than just the US, and they're now coming for the whole world. They're going to be funding everything that's going on in Ukraine and the rebuild. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over specifically what's been happening over the past month. We've been seeing company after company make what seems like a terrible financial decision for their business. They've been forcing down consumers' throats a certain agenda, and I think we all know what that is. And consumers have been boycotting companies, for example, like Bud Light, for example, like Target. But they're just the two recent, most popular cases. There's far more companies doing this. So a lot of people wondering, why now? Why are they forcing this agenda down our throats so hard? Because it doesn't make any business sense at all, because these companies' stock prices have been getting hammered. Well, guess what? We all knew why they're doing this, but now we have the answer from the man himself, Larry Fink, saying why they're going to do this. And guess what they're saying? They're saying they're going to force this upon you whether you like it or not. Let's go to the clip.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment. And what we are doing internally is, if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay?
We're doing the same thing.
And so it's just, you have to force behavior. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities. And we're going to have to force change. Force change.
People, if this is not a big enough wake-up call for you right now, I don't know what is. These people have gained so much power, so much control over us by stripping our rights and freedoms every single day, little by little, and now look how much power they have. They are telling you to your face that they're going to act like a dictator, that they're going to act like a tyrant, and they're going to force you to do it whether you like it or not. And you know what I find funny about all these white male billionaires? They talk so much about diversity, but if they were really about diversity, well then why don't you resign and let a minority take your position and give away all your wealth? Oh, that's right, it's just a rule for thee, but not for me. That's what the peasants have to do. I don't have to do this because I'm part of the club. So what he's actually talking about in this video is, he's saying these companies that are pushing this agenda, if they don't do this, well guess what? BlackRock isn't going to invest in them and they're going to pull their capital, which could send their stock price plummeting even more. This is what we've all been warning about, these ESG scores, environmental, social, governance scores that are coming. This is like a social credit score for businesses, but guess what's next? A social credit score for you. And on top of all of this, he's actually saying something illegal. He's saying we're going to hire based on race and gender. Last time I checked, you can't discriminate on people's race and gender when you're recruiting them. So this really opens them up for a big lawsuit. And good luck if you're a white male in corporate America. They want diversity, but they don't want white males to be part of that diversity. You have to hit some kind of minority criteria. And me is not complaining. This is why I left the corporate world, because I saw this coming. And that's why I created my own business, and why you need to do this right now. Learn how to build wealth, build an investment portfolio, so you no longer have to rely on corporate America, because it's only going to get worse. But again, everyone, this is completely terrifying. He's telling the people, we're going to force change whether you like it or not. And the reason why these tyrants are so open and honest now about their real agenda is because you have no tools, should I say, to defend yourself. They've taken all those tools away. America is really one of the last major economies that still has some of these tools to defend themselves against tyrants, but really around the world, they're being taken away. In America, I assume they're going to be taken more and more. And even even if you do have some of these tools, well, guess what? They've got bigger, much more powerful, and much more than you do. But everyone, fortunately for us, we still do have some small freedoms left. And this is our last chance to take a stand before they take full control. Say no to this ESG and woke corporate garbage before it's too late and they merge with the government to create a fascist state. Because guess what? Maybe you can boycott Bud Light, maybe you can boycott Target, but what will you do if there's only 1, 2, or 3 companies you can buy for and they're all forcing the same agenda? That's right, everyone. You will have nowhere to run or hide, and that's why they're desperately trying to destroy small businesses so you have nowhere else to go. Because this is no longer a conspiracy theory, everyone. They're telling you to your face they will force you to behave their way. They will force you to think their way. They'll force you to spend their way. They'll force you to raise your children their way. And they'll ultimately control every small detail of your life, especially when we get artificial intelligence and also augmented reality, because they want to control every single aspect of your life down to the most minute detail, because they're control freaks and psychopaths. So everyone, like I said, this may be one of your last chances to build wealth before the global elites make it nearly impossible, because they don't want anybody to rise above them. So if you're wanting to learn how to build wealth and achieve financial independence, but most important, financial liberty over your finances, well, you can click the link in the description below. I've added a bunch of more content to my course, and the price will be increasing in 48 hours, because after every single module is completed, the price goes up. But everyone, what do you think about all of this? Let me know down below. Now, for all my loyal viewers and subscribers still watching, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.